Jamie Foxx, one of the most respected and talented entertainers of our time, had taken the stand. Those in the room said he wasn't performing. This was real. His hands shook, his voice broke, and then, without warning, he broke down crying and screaming in front of the jury as he described what he had witnessed one night inside Diddy's mansion. Leaked notes from the trial transcript, along with sketches and eyewitness accounts, painted a terrifying picture. This wasn't the confident, charismatic Jamie Foxx the public knew. This was a man clearly traumatized. As he spoke, the courtroom sat still, frozen by his words. It wasn't just what he saw. It was how it was hidden, how everything seemed planned, protected, and how for years no one dared to speak out. Jamie's connection to Diddy was well known. In public, they shared laughs, exchanged jokes at after-parties, and posed for photos that suggested luxury, brotherhood, and power. But according to leaked court documents from the first week of trial, that brotherhood was only a facade. It all fell apart the night Jamie accepted an invitation to stay at Diddy's notorious mansion. In his emotional testimony, Jamie began by describing their relationship. "We all wanted to be part of the circle," he said. "Diddy's house was where the music happened, where the deals were made, where the energy was. It was like stepping into a palace of influence. But, according to his sworn words, some of those parties weren't about celebration. They were about initiation." That night, Jamie Foxx said he was led into a private wing of Diddy's mansion after an evening of heavy drinking and luxury lounging. He noticed people he didn't recognize, people who weren't artists, producers, or executives. Some looked visibly uncomfortable. In a hushed voice, he recalled being told to stay and relax because Diddy had a surprise. Foxx described a sudden change in the mood. The lights dimmed, the laughter stopped, and the guests quietly split, off into smaller, private rooms. One of Diddy's aides allegedly led him to a soundproof theater inside the mansion, where a video was already queued up. "I was confused. I didn't know what was going on," he said. "They told me, this is where we bond." What happened next, Foxx said, left him mentally scarred for years. "It was like nothing I'd ever seen. I didn't know if it was real or staged, but I know what I felt. My stomach dropped." When he tried to leave, he realized the doors were locked. They told him to sit down and watch, saying, "Everyone who's somebody has been through this." His testimony, according to someone present in the courtroom, sent chills through the room. Foxx paused, took a deep breath, and said, "I never asked to see that, and I've spent every day since trying to forget it." The judge called a 5-minute recess so he could compose himself. When Foxx returned to the stand, his eyes were red and his hands were shaking. The room fell silent again. What followed was a damning account of what he called Hollywood's darkest secret, the protection of power at all costs. He went on to say, "When I tried to leave that night, they handed me a glass of something and said it would help me calm down. I didn't drink it, I just said I needed to go." He remembered Diddy looking at him coldly, like he knew what Foxx had seen, but didn't care. It was like it was part of the plan. But what hit the courtroom the hardest wasn't just the traumatic event, it was what came after. In the following days, Foxx claimed he began receiving calls. They weren't direct threats, just subtle reminders to stay quiet, to stay close. He was offered a deal, a non-disclosure agreement and a check worth 7 figures. He refused. That, he said, is when the real pressure began. He noticed a decline in major roles, unexplained delays in project funding, and producers who once praised him suddenly going silent. It was a freeze-out, he testified. Quiet, but real, and I knew why. Foxx said he saw other careers vanish in the same way. People who asked questions just disappeared. Not dead, just erased, he said. He also shared that over the years, other celebrities confided in him. They had similar experiences but were too afraid to come forward. "You think I'm the only one? You think I'm brave?" he said. "I'm not. I'm just tired." A gasp reportedly echoed through the courtroom gallery when Jamie Foxx named 3 other well-known entertainers he claimed had also been present at similar parties at Diddy's mansion. Their names were redacted from the official court transcript, but multiple news outlets later suggested the individuals included a Grammy-winning rapper, a beloved late-night host, and an actress known for her activism. Foxx ended this part of his testimony with a haunting statement. "We wear smiles, suits, Sunglasses, but behind it a lot of us are broken. Some things you can't unsee. The atmosphere in the courtroom grew heavier as Fox leaned forward to share what he described as the most chilling part of his experience. Not just what he witnessed that night at the mansion, but what he learned afterward. What began as a surreal and disturbing encounter had spiraled into something far more calculated and terrifying. According to Fox, this wasn't just about wild parties or questionable behavior. It was about control, leverage, and blackmail. His tone shifted from emotional to analytical as he spoke about the alleged existence of a hidden archive, a secret vault of digital recordings supposedly stored on an encrypted server somewhere on Diddy's estate. Though he hadn't seen the room himself, Fox said multiple insiders, including a former house manager and 2 security guards who have since disappeared from the public eye, had confirmed it existed. They described it as a surveillance hub, filled with monitors, hard drives, and locked cabinets accessible only to a select few. They kept everything, Fox said, letting the silence hang in the air. Not just casual footage of parties, but recordings of things people never wanted to be made public, recorded without their consent. He claimed hidden cameras were placed in bedrooms, hallways, even bathrooms. "You'd think it's just a wild night," he explained, "but what you didn't know was someone was always recording." According to Fox, this wasn't a hobby or a trophy collection. It was, in his words, a currency of secrets. The archive reportedly included footage of celebrities, politicians, executives, and athletes, many of whom had no idea they'd been recorded in compromising situations. Some were intoxicated, while others were caught in behavior that Fox described as disturbing or potentially non-consensual. It wasn't just about watching, he added. It was about owning people, making sure no one ever turned against them. Insurance policies. A few months after his visit to Diddy's mansion, Jamie Foxx said he received a mysterious package at his production office. There was no return address, just his name written in sharp black marker. Inside was a flash drive. When he plugged it in, he found a distorted, grainy video. It showed footage from the theater room where he had been that night. His own face, his reactions, all captured by hidden cameras. The angle made it clear. He had no idea he was being filmed. There was no audio, just silent footage of his expressions as he watched whatever was playing on the screen that night. At the end of the video, the screen went black. Then a single phrase appeared. "Just remember." And that's just the beginning. What Jamie Foxx revealed inside that courtroom wasn't just testimony. It was a tear in the fabric of an industry built on image, influence, and silence. Behind the music, the lights, the red carpets, lies a world carefully hidden, ruthlessly protected, and terrifyingly real. This isn't about gossip. This is about power, how it's built, how it's abused, and how it's shielded behind NDAs, locked doors, and whispered warnings. If these allegations are true, the question isn't how it was kept quiet for so long. It's who else knew and said nothing. Now it's your turn. Don't just scroll past. Share this. Talk about it. Ask the uncomfortable questions. Because when silence becomes the standard, truth becomes the enemy. And the only thing more dangerous than the secrets themselves is a world willing to look away. Stay loud. Stay watching. Because the curtain hasn't dropped. It's only just been pulled back.